Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and yesterday I had a nice little pleasant surprise with Rock Solid Tomahawk. So I'm hoping that I can get myself a very similar positive reaction out of the next Arcana. Obviously, first I want to say I hope you're all doing well today. It's been a relatively fine day for me. I can't really complain too much. I just got back from work and had something to eat, and now we're going to be doing Razor Petals. So, obviously, the strength of this one is that it is something that you can throw out multiple times. It does one big hit at the end, one big hit at the front, and then a few smaller hits before it drags the enemy back into you. Now, the real problem I have with this one is that it drags the enemy back towards you. As much as I probably shouldn't be complaining about that, it's an issue that I've been trying to figure a way around, because I'd like to just throw these out rapid fire. Oh, I guess there's nothing saying you can't do that. Well, I feel a little derpy. So, because of how the Arcana works, we are going to run it... We are going to run it with the Awe Robe and try to get some critical hits going. But what would be the best supplementing spell to run it with? Probably not that. I'm thinking... long and hard. You settle long and hard. Sorry, I'm now realizing I kind of miss Beavis and Butthead. As strange as that sounds, like I can't explain it. It's just I don't know. I know there's still a thing, but I don't really gel with streaming services, so I'm just gonna have to put up with me having an odd nostalgia for some of the stupidest characters ever created in fiction. Alright, so what would be an appropriate ability to go with this? There's a number of options that are kind of nice, such as Spiral Rumblers, which will push the enemies back and set them up. And there's your signature, which is really pretty and very fun to look at. Now, I do think Thunderline is your best option for defense. And I'm trying to decide how I want to run this. Then they're too far away to follow up. Okay, that's not gonna work. Yep, sometimes you just gotta experiment a bit. Now, because the Razor Petals are not exactly big on damage, you gotta make up for that by the idea that they score many hits. This might be the answer. And it's just a matter of, is there anything else I want to try? Alright, I kind of like that. Then yes, we'll just kind of go heavy on electricity. Or... okay, because of how everything works, I think we're going to be better off going with Air Spinner. Alright, I think we've got it nailed down, and the soundtrack role was jazz soundtrack. Alright, here we go. We are set and ready to go. Thank you for being patient while I kind of experimented and put some things together. Now, what we really need is our retro floor plan. So while I'm waiting for that to spawn, I will say I hope you're all doing wonderfully today. It was a very interesting day at work, and I say that because of the actions of one of our other department managers. I'm not going to go into anything because I don't want to take a risk at someone identifying, you know, not just what happened, but also where I work and all of that. Let's just say there's a part of me that feels very disrespected. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Alright, I think, as per usual, we should start at the living courtyards. Yep, that'll work. Alright. So, one of the things that you're gonna quickly notice is that I kind of use this like a combo starter. Though I'm now realizing that that was a complete whiff. Oh, this room is awful. Okay, that was stressful. Oh, beautiful. Alright, is there... I want to wait on that until I know whether or not we're going to trade it in. So the one issue that I really have with Razor Petals is that it doesn't hit anything between you and where it stops. Which, yeah, I know that sounds like a silly thing to worry about, considering what the spell does. Like, it makes sense that there isn't, like, that there's, like, a blank space between you and where the flower stops. I find it bothersome just because it creates this, like, blank zone in between me and the enemy where I can't do anything to them. Which is why I chose something closer range, like Air Spinner. But if you can get around the idea that there's no hitbox in between you and where the flower stops, you quickly come to realize that this spell does a good job at holding enemies back and just creates... It can do things like create no cross zones, so it's good for zoning. That's kind of the big thing, is it's really good for zoning. The idea that it pulls enemies back into you, like, I called it annoying before, but I think it's really the dead zone that I have a big problem with. But outside of the dead zone, it pulls enemies back into you for further comboing. And I also just realized it does something else I really like. It boomerangs. How did I not notice that before? The boomeranging is important. Because, if you've noticed, the spell pulls enemies back to you in the direction that it flies, so it's really good for setting things up if you're good with how it works. And well, you guys know me. You know how much I like Tracer Barrage. I'm completely fine manipulating an Arcana by running around. So yeah, that's actually kind of cool. I kind of wasn't thinking about that when I was first using this spell, and now that I know that, it's kind of come off as a huge bonus for me that it does that boomeranging effect. Now see, that's what I mean by it annoys me that it has that dead zone. Because I would very much like to be able to... Oh, shut up. Alright, so that sound was my glucose monitor. So, just so you have an idea. Yeah, this is probably not going to stick around very long. I don't think I need anything else on this floor, so away we go. Yeah, your best use for this spell is either as a zoning or a combo tool. I'd say both uses are equally valid and, well, you know, what you're supposed to do. Okay, so this is high priority. This I need to grab right now. Jade's Chakra Locket, fairly high priority. And I would like the Noxious Dapper Cap. It's not important, though. But because the... Let's see, what do we have here that I like? I like being able to upgrade Thunderline, but it's also not super high priority. And I'm not even going to bother with Dragon Circuit. Alright, things are working out nicely now. And now you understand why I was kind of toying around with it and experimenting with some of the standards. That way, I could put together a decent combo that would actually work. Alright, so that could have worked out better. I accidentally mashed my signature button when I was trying to dash away. Whoops. Alright. And this doesn't really affect the spell's strength, but I do like how colorful it is. Alright, so let me double check here, because I'm looking at this and... yeah, there's not a lot here that I want to pick up. In this case, not even the Golden Saber of Envy, because it's a little bit too early, and I don't have a lot of money saved up for when the price is getting jacked up. So I think, actually, this time, we just let that be. But that doesn't change the idea that at some point or another, I would like an offense boost. Ow. Alright, on to the second boss. Not immediately, of course, but I guess I should say second level. But technically, it's the fourth level. God damn it, second stage. But technically, it's the fourth. Shut up, brain. I don't need you correcting me. But I'm you, shut up. When I notice myself getting caught up on pedantic details, I sometimes need to back off and remind myself that I don't need to constantly correct myself. Surely everyone has that conversation with themselves, right? I mean, I'm not just psychotic, right? I mean, right? That was very much the wrong way. Alright, that wasn't so bad. And get myself back on track here, and ooh, do we have anything here I like? Well, I kinda like Radiant Beat, but I'm not gonna take it. And that would be because I know the twins are going to resist that quite a lot. So I'm just saying no to it. Just... Now, see, the other option that you could use is for your basic when you're running Plant Man's weapon here is that you could take a basic that's combos more effectively with it, and that would be like Aqua Arc, which that's an interesting thought. I'm gonna have to try that because that would be like watering your flowers at that point. Oh, hello. Definitely want that. Oh, and I could have gotten the dependable cake. Oh. Of course. Yeah, Dark Sage, why didn't you think to pick up the thing that would lower your maximum health and only give you a benefit if you were really low on health? Yeah, why didn't you think about that, huh? Actually, on the point of the spiked emergency kit, the only reason why I don't pick it up is because I'm not exactly big on... Okay, so this is Dr. Song. Yeah, I'm not exactly big on effects that lower my maximum health, but at the same time, I run things like, you know, the Vampire Fangs and... Oh, I went the wrong way. God damn it. But yeah, I run effects like Vampire Fangs and Glass Cannon, so maybe I shouldn't worry too much about Spiked Emergency Kit. At the same time, it's one of those things that seems harmless until you put yourself in the position where it could really be an issue. Then you kind of stop and realize, oh, I kind of screwed myself by taking this. And that's the only time when it has a benefit, is when you've made too many mistakes. What I'm trying to say is that it's high risk, but not high enough reward. Oh, I should have gotten something from Dr. Song. I didn't even think about it. I was just like, speedrun! But you're not speedrunning. You're supposed to be talking about Razor Petal, you dumbass. So, as I've brought up multiple times already, this Arcana does two things really well. Combo and zoning. What that does mean, though, is that in order to use it effectively, you really need to properly space out your enemies. So you're going to be playing at that kind of mid-range point. Okay, there we go. Oh, do I have anything I want to sell you? Do I really need the money that badly? I mean, I can sell him the autograph pad. I don't care about that. And yeah, my signature gauge won't last as long, but you know, there's other things I could do. To deal with that. It is not exactly what I would call high priority. Terra Ring, maybe, because of the combo effect of. But yeah, because of the combo effect of the plant, I could use Terror Ring as like a combo ender when the enemy gets pulled, inevitably gets pulled towards me, or when I walk up to them. Yeah, this is perfect. Flame Cleaver has just enough knockback to really make this work. Oh, and there's a little bit of tech that you should know that I just kind of accidentally showed off. And that is that if you're up against a wall when you use it, it will just stop at the wall. Alright, cool. Got that to work. You don't really have anything I want either. Alright, well I guess we're just saving up money for a house at this point. I mean, is 999 Chaos Gems and 592 gold enough to buy a house? I mean, in this economy, the obvious answer is no. Not even like a maybe or anything you need to think about, just no. Okay, I was hoping that the Hammer of Atlas would cancel out his projectiles. It did not, and that makes me sad. Here, you can have those sneakers. Thank you, sir. Yes, this is not a build where having the extra 15% damage for one hit is necessarily a good idea. That would be useful for, like, Dragonfall or Crashing Meteor, but for the setup I have, wouldn't help much. Oh, that was not smart. Okay. Now, admittedly, when this spell first released back in the Phantom update, and that was a while ago at this point, I'm now realizing, I was really excited about this spell because much of what the Earth Arcana were really good at the time, and you know it's still kind of the case nowadays, is essentially just big, like single big strong hits. There weren't a lot of Earth Arcana that were good at critical hits. I mean, unless you know counted the thing that we should all be counting, which is Tectonic Thrill. Oh, you son of a bitch! You canceled out my signature. Okay, seriously, those guys' Voltaic Needle can cancel out your projectiles? That is not cool. Okay, that is going to make this level much harder than I first thought it would be. It's also really hard to zone these enemies out because their sweet spots are kind of in the same spot as mine. And they all have homing attacks, which really not fun. mean, it's not great for this build, but I might as well take it. It's more ranged control. That was not smart. Really? Okay. I obviously didn't see that drop, or I never would have picked it up, but alright. Cool, I've got Surge Anchor. Oh, wow. Now they're just making fun of me for passing up on the dependable cake. Dude, I didn't even pass up on it. I just didn't think the spiked emergency kit would be useful. Now you're just dragging my face through the mud. Alright, so because the enemies have a lot of range on their spells, and they're kind of messing with me a little bit, I'm gonna have to play fights a little bit more carefully. Okay, not doing good at all. This is a dangerous situation I find myself in. Alright. Well, at this point, we're going to have to start playing this like I play Elden Ring. Throw an attack, dodge, throw an attack, dodge, throw an attack, dodge. Every now and again, get to do something bigger. And obviously, because this is a zoning spell, it's good at blocking projectiles. Alright, what do you do? That's not likely to happen, but what the hell. Yeah, I'm taking way too much damage. Is it because of Razor Petals? No. No, it is not. I actually kind of like Razor Petals. Like I said, this is one of those spells that I felt really positive about when it first came out. No, if anything, I'm just playing really poorly right now. I need to get myself back on track. Fortunately, having something that enables self-recovery is really big, and with that big ol' thing capable of blocking projectiles for me, I feel a little bit safer. Gentlemen, please. Fairy. Our lucky poisonous fairy. That's going to make our world forgive the joke, but it'll make our world just a bit more toxic. Darkseid, you're dumb, I know. Okay, getting tired of the electric mages. And speaking of which... Alright, cool. Well, that's rare. You almost never see something like that just pop out of... pop out of just a random barrel. But yes, I will take it. Alright, I missed a shop up here. Let's go grab that. This is not the right build for frozen bait to really shine. Remember, I'm trying to make Razor Petals shine. Problem is, I'm playing like a dumbass. Or if I want to say that, you know, in a less toxic way to myself, I remind myself that this is the third level, and enemies are incredibly aggressive and have additional attack patterns. Okay, this arrow guy needs to stop. Dark Sage arrow guys are called archers. Sorry, I have no witty comeback for that, I'm sorry. It's just for some reason I forgot the word archer for a moment. Thank you, you two. Wow, that was an odd miss. Still the easiest boss in the game. That would be a great combo finisher for a different type of build. And don't worry, we'll be going over that, but not today, obviously. Oh, that was maybe a little much. So, another rather obvious complaint about this spell is that it's nearly impossible to keep a boss stationary throughout the entire signature cast. Now, the defense to that is that it's a spell that's designed for zoning. So the idea that it sits there and lasts a long time is part of the appeal, but that does not change the fact that, for the most part, that is a weakness. Smooth. Alright, get dash out of Hammer of Atlas here. Yeah, I barely got any damage in on him. Yeah, this is a nice long fight, because my damage output is relatively low without the obvious combo. Ugh. Okay, so as you can see, the shorter the amount of stun time you get with this spell, the harder it is to really make things happen. I mean, that's the thing, Razor Petals just has so much potential that ultimately ends up going a little untapped by the time you get to the later level bosses. I still like the idea that instead of just the usual, like, stone power tools or big rocks or vines, in this case you get pretty flowers. And I know I say that like I'm making fun of it, but no, I do actually like that. It's just a shame that the spell itself just has so many weak spots that kind of need to be shored up. Like I said, ultimately, I like the spell, but I have to look at it in an unbiased manner, and in an unbiased manner, it's got some weaknesses that it really needs to handle. Like, maybe the, like, little hits in between the few big hits could do, like, one more damage. Or maybe what you really do is have, because it's supposed to be a zoning spell, maybe you have the flower rotate a little bit longer. Maybe just enough to get like one or two more ticks of damage, just like a couple more frames. Maybe make it so it doesn't die as easily to projectiles. I think that would be a big change. Also, maybe make it so that it's a little bit... Maybe... Oh, no. What you really do is make it so that the signature cast has its own built-in stun feature, so that the higher level bosses can't just walk through it and ignore it. That's what you should really do with this one. I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts because, like I said, I like this spell. I'm a defender of it, but it's hard to ignore its weaknesses, especially when they can lead to fights going longer than they need to, and then almost dying because of it. Or, if I had taken a few more hits, I would have been dead at the end there. So, something to keep in mind. Definitely a spell that could use some work. But, hey, that's... at least I got to show it off to you guys, and that's the important part. So, I want to thank you guys for coming and spending some of your free time here with me today. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and you take care, everybody.